All right. Hey, this is Bodega. Oh, wait, no, one second. Oh,
Go ahead, go
you guys
ahead.
are excited.
Go ahead.
Ah, I took a vibe. Hey, this is Bodega, and today on episode, what is it, Victor? Episode 5? On episode 5 of Let's Talk, I'm sitting down with Queen, a
Yes.
music manager and the CEO of Royalty Nations Management. How you doing
Yes.
today, Queen?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
no problem, no problems. First of all, how's your day?
My day is going well. Actually had to do a little bit of motivating,
Oh,
but
okay.
that didn't go too well. But you know how that is with the kids.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But sometimes you gotta just find yourself to just tune back into
Yeah.
the energy that you're supposed to be having for the day. So as of right now, I'm doing wonderful, blessed to be here, actually, and excited.
I love to hear it. I love to hear it. So I guess we should just get straight to it. How was your start in music management?
My start in music management, actually, you know, it was a. Now that I'm getting older, I realized that it was a journey that I jumped into,
Yes.
and not knowing anything of it. And sometimes a lot of people can be very, very scared of those kind of, choices in their journeys or their life. But I actually did that with, just people just asking if I was able to even be a manager. And I was not even trying to do management. I
How?
went to school for medical assistant.
Yeah. How did that
Yeah.
come up? How did somebody you know approach you and ask you?
Yeah, actually, one of my childhood friends,
Yeah.
she's an artist. She had asked me at that time. She's been doing like music for a very long time, and just wanted me to be a part of the team, but wanted the management part of it. And I just knew I can, help an artist, but I just didn't know how.
Yeah.
But a lot of people put their trust in me, to just say, "Hey, can you guide me or help me with this?" So, I just took the role and just jumped into it. And ever since then, it's just been on the roll for me, and it's exciting to accomplish a lot of things with the artist, travel the world, and
Yeah.
just take yourself to a different level every time. So right now it's been a great decision and journey so far.
So for the average person, what does a music manager do? What
Okay.
does that job
Yes.
entail?
So a music manager is someone who basically takes the artist's career and put it in their hand. They actually have to make sure things go in a certain way, right? So we talking about life situations. We talking about finance. We talking about decision making. We talking about just mentally. We have to be
Yeah.
there for them. It's really a big task.
Hmm.
But at the same time, a lot of artists expect a lot from a manager,
Yes.
but they forget that you have to also build a team.
Hmm.
So a manager can't do it all,
Yeah.
but we can make sure that it happens.
Yes.
So I believe my mission in being a music manager is to make sure things happen. Um, you know, as much as we can try to manage ourselves, because number one, you have to manage yourself,
Yes.
right? So we have to learn how to manage ourselves. But some people can actually manage their career and themselves.
Yeah.
But a lot of artists actually waste their times to get extra players when they've been doing it themselves. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes they're looking for other people to do certain things.
What are those certain things?
So let's just say making sure that people come out, or making sure that they're paid artists in a certain way. So you got to make sure that they're paid artists, but there's things that comes behind of it, as in the finance, right?
Hmm.
You can't just be a paid artist without financially being stable for yourself as a music artist, right?
Okay.
So you have to actually get that together so that the manager can now guide you into different lanes, different areas of the business.
So to understand, you're saying that the artist needs to already be having sort of the music or their career already needs to be bringing in money
It has to be
either to have a management.
correct. Because, I mean, let's just go back into when I first started this. I started off working just with family and friends.
Yes.
There's no contract, there's no
Yes.
agreement. So you're going to find certain people that want to do things, of course, from the kindness of their heart and making sure it happens. But in all reality, to make it happen, you have to get someone that is now in, and a person that's in, you have to now pay in
Yes.
services, right? So some people can try to figure out why they're still stuck on one level. But when you start to have finance or the finance is there, you start to see the movement and where you
Yes.
can move to. So all I'm saying is, as an artist, to really start to have a manager or have a team, that finance has to be put
Copy.
together. Because it's hard for a manager to circulate you anywhere.
Yeah, without
if
revenue.
you don't have anything for me to circulate. So really, we sitting and just looking at each other off of some great music.
Yeah.
But I don't want you to just be making great music. I actually want you to circulate and people see you. But for them to see you, that finance has to be there. So what else are we going to do to make sure that finance happens? Are we going to be outside? Are we
Yeah.
going to grind? Because not everybody that's an artist wants to have a 9 to 5 because they don't have the time.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? You can't just have great music and nothing around it.
So, question. So, let's say an artist wants to come to you and wants you to manage them. Do you have like a list of certain things? Like, oh, well, for me to manage you, you need to be doing this, or you have this. And if so, what are those things?
So actually, I just got, at this point of, I want to say the last 3 months, I want to say I literally stepped into like the full blown management. And that's only because I entered into a label, which
What do you define as full blown management?
I'm actually
before?
moving an artist in a certain direction. Now
Okay.
I'm actually moving because of finance.
Okay.
And moving because people are seeing or looking at
Yeah.
what's going on as in label.
Yeah.
So when you're able to work now with the artist, not saying that none of the artists I was working with had anything going on, but it wasn't much of a movement. Now
Yes.
what I'm doing is much of a movement. So
Copy.
what I will ask for from an artist right now is they have to have the beginner stage put together, which
Yeah. What is- yeah.
the ASCAP. You have to have your EPK. You have to have
Break that down. EPK.
So an EPK is a electronic press kit. It's basically a music artist's resume,
Yes.
right? You want to get all of these things put together because in order for me to even build that artist's business plan, because now we got to start working on business plans.
Yes.
Artists are business. This is the business that we're working on. So it's not just only on the talent on which you could create within the music or the music videos.
Yes.
But now what can you do within the business side? So in order for that to even start flowing, you have to get these simple things started with,
Yeah.
right? So once again, you have to get that EPK. You have to get your ASCAP BMI together, right?
I heard of those two things. Can you
Yes.
break them
So
down?
these are basically your copyright portals you have to go into, right? Your copyright portals. In order for anybody to pay you or to make sure that song is yours,
Yeah.
you have to have these things behind of you.
So I'm assuming every time a song gets played on the radio, those things help you.
Yes. Anytime any song is being played, period, performance, the song itself is just out there. That's how they find.
And before they come to you, they need to have that set up already.
They need to have that set up. So a lot of the times, and then also having a budget.
Yes.
Right? Because people are looking for teams or looking for a place to be with their music, but
No budget.
no budget. I could work with an artist with no budget, but the grind that you have to put behind of that,
It's really
not
hard.
everybody wants to do that.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of people understand how much work is involved in that
Yes.
part. They think it's like I do maybe a show once a month, and it's
It's a lot.
You gotta. If there's an open mic happening every week every week today,
You should be there.
every single one.
Every single one.
And when the open mics are over, you should still be there.
Yes.
Shaking hands with everybody.
Oh, yeah. Also, not to cut you.
Yeah.
One thing I always talk about is that artists forget that they're like politicians.
Yeah, they do.
If you don't have that money,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you do need to have that money because campaigning.
It's fundraising. You need
Yes.
to fundraise for your campaign.
But if you don't have that money, you need to be outside talking to every single person.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be at every show. You need to be
Yeah.
in everybody's face. You need to be on everyone's platform, no matter if it's a 5-person platform or a 100,000 platform. It doesn't matter. You need to be on it.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, everybody thinks that they're here.
Yes.
But if this is not matching,
Mm-hmm.
you're not there. You're going to just still be where you feel like you are
Yeah.
until you have gas behind of you to keep you moving.
Yeah.
And that gas is your funds. You know what I'm saying? So right now, a lot of artists are understanding, They're definitely understanding that they need to have that behind of them.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it more in Atlanta. We're seeing it more down south in Miami area. The money, however they're circulating their money, they're doing it correctly. And that's more with their team. So you have your boys with you. Y'all always going out. You getting bottles. But that money is not going behind of your music. But then you want to have your boys at your show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now you need to start having your peoples that's supposed to be behind of you, putting that behind as your gas.
Yeah.
Pushing you for campaigning. Putting you on every advertisement. You should be on every platform with that money. But artists are not doing it correctly. So this is what I'm here for, to make sure that they're putting their money behind of their self correctly. And that's the campaign and the management that I'm doing as of right now.
So how do you become a part of the record label that you're a part of right now?
How did I become?
Yes.
A part of it?
How did you meet? How were you integrated in to the label?
Okay. So they basically found me, which is amazing. Just me posting up a lot of what I've been doing, and just knowing that I have a management team. They wanted me to come in to bring more artists, more of a A&R. At the same time, I had the artist that just wanted to work with me, which was the real Simba. I've been working with him for some years, just doing showcasing.
Yeah.
But when I presented them his work, they were so pleased by it. Like, what? Wait, this is the artist that you want us to work with? And I'm like, yeah. And since then, they just never stopped, and it's just been growing. And the label has been growing me more as a manager because they're making me understand certain things that I may have lacked or haven't asked for from an artist.
As what?
Let's just say within the budgets.
Okay.
Right? So most of the times I would tell an artist that I'll make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Which I'll make things happen.
Yes.
But then they're looking for a different make happen.
Who is them?
The artist will be looking for something different. But the only thing that will be lacking is just, what is your budget? And a lot of artists don't want to say what their budget is.
They don't really
they
have
may not have a budget.
So they don't want to say
So most of the times I'm working with artists that's on that level.
Yes.
Now that I went to the label, now I'm working with artists on a different level. So it makes my job a little bit easier and makes it more, I can get the job done fully.
I'm also assuming now there's a lot more paperwork.
Paperwork, correct.
A lot of, you're probably at home double crossing, going over contracts more than you have before.
Yes.
How is that?
It's the safest way.
Yeah.
And before I didn't realize that because of, once again, you're looking at it through family and friends. So of course you're gonna always look for just the respect of what we got going on.
A lot of
but once you know that you have a business, these are things that you need to have. These are legal ways of making your business right. There's no crisscross of anything because it's set in stone. And most of the times people fall back on certain words or fall back on
Yeah.
certain situations. And when you really trying to elevate and grow, the only way of doing it is the right way. And so far, I've been moving in the right way. And as you said, paperwork has been making things move.
Yeah, right?
And you can't be scared of it. Sometimes we scared of having to write an agreement, but that's actually the best thing that you could do.
Yeah, 'cause,
In understanding what you're writing, signing, but
there's a lot of stories out there. Artists, talk about having bad experiences or whatever. I always find that it's funny because I think a lot of artists don't really realize that a lot of those contracts is to protect like the manager.
yes.
To make sure like you guys get paid because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you technically like in the business sense, you guys are the employees.
Yeah.
So like
We're working for them.
when you go to like a McDonald's and you fill out all those paperwork, you don't really think about it. But technically, if you look at the management contract in a McDonald's like employee, it's similar.
Definitely. Definitely.
And so right now, how many artists are you managing?
So right now I'm managing on paperwork, I'm managing 2 artists. Which is the real Simba and Angel Monroe. But I'm also managing my son. So that's the life agreement as a momager. But as I keep going on with what I'm doing with the label and my artists, and it eventually is going to grow because of what I'm doing, and a lot of people have been seeing the results. So as I'm, pushing these artists, I know with my son being behind of me as my shadow, that will show a different lane of how to get in. If people will understand that, because he's going to be doing it through the footwork and the grind, because that's how I get through. Certain artists are not going to do that because they actually have the funds or, to push behind of it. But he's going to find his followings through me connecting through people. Yeah. He's going to find his followings through me having events or different things. You know what I'm saying? So I've put him on showcases. He's been at celebrity baseball games. He's been to performing at openings for football games. He's been doing a lot of great things, and he's been doing this since the pandemic of last year. And he's kind of stopped, I want to say in the beginning of this year, but started again. And this is around the time when I just kind of got back into my groove of hosting and everything, and the following and the opportunities and just a lot that's happening for him right now is amazing.
How was that starting that during the pandemic? Because it's very different from when everything's open. You have to reevaluate how you do things. How was that?
And that was it was dope. And once again, finding artists to do the footwork, right?
Yeah.
So going to a protest and wanted to perform outside for completely free.
Yeah.
You don't know these people. You don't know what's going to turn out. But some artists will turn that down. And I had artists that actually turned down the opportunity. And I told my son to perform.
Why? Because it was free?
They don't think it was going to do anything for them. Who's going to be there? People look for too much.
Yeah.
But they live themselves too high. But if you do, then it doesn't matter where you go. Get that fan. Get those people to love you. But it was amazing because he got a lot of people to know exactly what this kid is about.
And
is
he singer, rapper?
Singer, rapper, but at that time he was rapping. And I was writing, at that time through the pandemic, and he just came in and was like, "Mom, can I perform this?" And I'm like, "Okay, cool." Not thinking he really was gonna do it. And there's about like 200, 300 people on 125th Street. And I'm thinking he's gonna be scared, and he goes up and perform, and everybody is there. We had Eric Garner's mother was there. A lot of activists were there. So he got a chance to perform in front of some great people and some good feedbacks from that. And from there, people were just like, can he perform on this stage and this stage? So that's the footwork and the grind that I'm teaching him right now. Yeah. Be everywhere, just like me.
We're about to wrap up soon, but can you give us breakdown of your two other artists?
Yes. So we have the real Simba. He just dropped his new music actually just 3 days ago. So I need y'all to go check that out. It's called Big Banks. It's on every platform. All right, amazing artist. He's from Mount Vernon. So I need y'all guys to go check that out. And we have Angel Monroe. She's out there in California. She has some amazing things going on. She just actually just landed her photo on a magazine cover that
Oh,
just
wow.
dropped at the same time as the VMAs. So they
What
had a lot
magazine?
of the VMAs situation in there. So
Which magazine?
off the top of my head, I can't remember the name of it, but I actually just posted it on my page too.
Okay.
So if you guys go and check that out. But yeah, she has a lot of amazing things going on. She's been on TV, modeling gigs, a lot of great things. So right now we're about to really push her music career to a whole different level and get her on a lot of different platforms. So all of this is being done on the label. Once again, the label is called Celebrity Status Records.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Celebrity DJ YG for actually putting this whole thing together. This is his label, and for putting me a part of this. The team right now is moving in a whole different way. So you guys are going to really hear a lot about this label. So stay tuned, y'all.
Wow. It was a great
Stay tuned.
conversation. I appreciate you coming, taking
Yes.
the time to come
Yes.
and talk.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Always.
The
I
queen.
appreciate you. Yes.
All right. Take care, guys.
Thank you.